On a case study on autonomous AI agents and cybersecurity risk. And the speaker for the workshop is TOMILAYO OLATUNDE. So I will read out her profile. TOMILAYO OLATUNDE is a junior research scholar at the Initiative for Long-Termism in Africa, IUNA, where she conducts AI safety research. Her research project examines how African nations can enhance their cybersecurity frameworks to defend against advanced AI-powered cyber attacks. Additionally, she investigates broader AI safety challenges with a particular focus on understanding risks from advanced AI agents and designing a solution to address these concerns. So while we are on this workshop, there will be time for questions and answers, and also might have some group discussions and also probably some group presentation as well. So let's make welcome TOMILAYO OLATUNDE.
My name is TOMILAYO, and this session will be a little different from the ones we had from 19 morning. Because it's a workshop first, and then it will be in form of like a case study discussion. But before we get into the case study, I will bring a little bit of introduction. Some of the concepts that I think might be strange to some of us. So the case study is on autonomous AI agents and cybersecurity attacks. The structure of the workshop would be I'll give you the background that I stated earlier, then I'll be introducing the case study, then we'll have a discussion session, and then I'll be rounding up from there. The background, basically, I'll be introducing what autonomous AI agents are, then what exactly are those characteristics that differentiates an AI agent from the other AI systems that we've had. If you were at the other AI safety talk by Mark and Iman, I think we're introduced to some kind of system called frontier AI systems. Currently, AI agents are also categorized under frontier AI systems by some researchers. I think this diagram by St. Paul illustrates what AI agents are, like the perfect format. So for their components, we have a base model, which would be like a foundational model or any other kind of frontier model, which would be like the base model that would have the abilities, the capabilities that would power the agent. Then there are some other things that we call scaffolding systems. These are literally tools that enable the agent, that enable the foundational system to call on other tools, like probably use the internet to search for information, and then from that information it takes action. But what makes AI agents like very distinct is the fact that you can give them open-ended goals, and they distill the goal, they break it down into simple form, and then you take actions based on that. They are literally very different from other AI systems because, like, for example, ChatGPT, what you do with ChatGPT is like give it a prompt, and then it generates what it thinks should be like the appropriate answer for your prompt. So it answers your questions, does all sorts of things. But for agents, they go beyond reasoning, they go beyond thinking, they go beyond that to actually doing. They take actions, and these actions have effect on our environment. For example, right now we have AI agents that could act as virtual assistants that would literally do stuff like book plane tickets, schedule events on your calendar, and do also, like they take actual actions that have effect on our immediate environment. Then, based on their actions, they also have the ability to learn, and then they have memories as well, where they store the actions that they've taken, the steps they took to achieve a particular goal. And based on this memory, they can recall information to apply in future instances. Now, important characteristics that differentiate AI agents from other AI systems. So this list was created by Alan Chan in 2023. It's a very good paper that I would recommend to anybody that is interested in anything AI agent. That's like the foundational work that you should interact with. So it listed 4 things as the important characteristics of AI agents. The first one is under specification, which is basically that you give an AI agent a particular goal and you don't need to over-explain. Like in Yoruba, you don't need to shalaye too much. Like you don't need to say that you have to take this specific steps to achieve this goal. You can just give it an open-ended goal and then its reasons on what steps will actually lead to the achievement of this goal. Then the second one is directness of impact, which is what I mentioned earlier. That is, their actions have direct impact on the environment. As against the AI systems where what they do is like they kind of generate words, like they generate sentences that would be like instruction on how you take certain steps. But for AI agents, their actions, they take direct actions that affect the environment. Then co-directedness, which is that they are able to take steps that are interdependent. Like all these steps are connected in a way that they lead to a given goal, a specified goal. Then lastly, long-term planning, which is that they can take all those interconnected steps over a long period of time to achieve an end goal. So it's not like a short-term thing. Compared to LLMs, where you give them a prompt and then in like the next 20 minutes at most, they work like in terms of seconds. In fact, like you get your answers, you get your reply. But for AI agent, they can work over a very long time. Then there are different risks that could come from the malicious use of AI agents or even the development of AI agents in the first place. But the ones I will be focusing on is the cybersecurity risk, which I have chosen to term as simply cyber attacks. So misdefined cyber attacks are any kind of malicious activities that attempt to collect, disrupt, deny, degrade, or destroy information system resources or the information itself. Simply infiltrating a system to extract information or to disrupt the service that the system is supposed to render. Cyber attacks will also be against humans, and these are like phishing attacks. They're the ones that we are mostly familiar with. They get like spam messages, which is supposed to have like a link attached. Click the link, a malware is installed into our system. So there is an organization called Meta, and it has like a list of the steps that is involved in every cyber attack. So almost all cyber attacks must have all these steps. Because of time, I'll just like quickly rush through them. But the starting point will be the reconnaissance, which is where the cyber attacker gets to know the attack victim, like who is this person or what is this system, what kind of service do they render, is it what I am interested in. Then weaponization, that's where they create the kind of cyber attack. There are different forms of cyber attack. It could be malware, phishing or stealth phishing, the variety of them. Then there is delivery and exploitation, which is where they actually do the penetration, like how they enter into the system to exploit the system. Then installation, which is mostly associated with software, malicious software attack, which is called malware. Then command and control, where the attacker have a control of what the malicious software does on the system or network that it is attached to. How do they know what they attack, what is the goal that they will achieve. And last one is action on objective. It is using the malicious software to achieve the goal of the cyber attacker. The goal could be from getting information, like extracting from the system, which would be used to get the owner of that information to pay some money. That's form of attack called ransomware, where you get them to pay money. Now, evolution of attack. This categorization is what I choose to go with for the purpose of this workshop. There are different categorizations out there. So there is the pre-AI era where attacks are basically done in the traditional way, where there are like manual labor to come up with codes, to develop a malware, a program, and stuff like that. So it takes very, very long time to plan effectively on how to create the cyber attack, how to execute the cyber attack, and so on and so forth. And then we also have like very, very rigid technique, very rigid tactic and procedure. Then we move on to the AI era, which started from around 2010, where we started using AI systems to automate some of the steps involved in the cyber attack process. So there is a paper that evaluates what AI can do right now as regards cyber attacks. So they found out that the extent that cyber attackers can go with the use of AI in whatever they are doing is the reconnaissance stage. So they haven't been able to use AI systems effectively in other steps. Remember the meter keep chain, yeah. So as far as they can go right now is reconnaissance. They've been able to use AI to get information about the victims that they want to attack. Then with the use of AI right now, we only have like very limited automation. There are just like very small things that can be automated with AI systems effectively. And this limit comes from the fact that the current AI systems are still very, very susceptible to hallucination. They still hallucinate. So that limits like the number of things they can do. Then minimal persistence. Persistence is how long the malicious software can stay on the system that it was injected into. So there is something that enhances persistence, and it's called adaptability. So the malicious software, if it's able to adapt to the defense mechanism in the system, it will be able to like stay for as long as possible, from like 3 months to years, so that they can continue to like exploit the system as long as they want. But with the AI system that we have right now, we've not been able to do this yet. Lastly, they've also been using AI for updates. And we also had the other session by Mark and Iman, they also mentioned the updates factor, which is that very low skilled actors are able to use AI systems to do some minute cyber attacks. That is, someone who doesn't have enough cybersecurity knowledge and use AI systems to create convincing spear phishing messages or emails that will be sent to like victims. Like one that is very common in Nigeria is like all these bank account messages. So very, very like vague people, they use AI systems to practice this. It's not like very big cyber attacks or data use for its own. Then now the era of the famous AI. This year, AICT researchers say they are in the year of AI agent. That's still like very debated because people don't think that we have like very advanced AI agents yet.
Both they are saying probably would have the start saying this on AI agent. So when we get to the era of autonomous agents, it thinks that AI agents will do with us, they will start experiencing more enhanced form of operation. That is, all the steps these agents might give to like just hide everything else. Just if like they're able to like get access to the models, just if they open an elbow and need a man here that will adapt to this kind of system, and this is like and they will come up with just provide the rules like then advanced persistent rates of the experienced persistence, like you'll be able to get like very advanced cyber attacks that would ensure long stays in system in autonomous agent, adaptability and evasion, even like evade defense measures, entry measures, more than we are seeing right now. And then lastly, scale and frequency. So if they are able to automate most of the steps in their active chain, that means the period of time that it usually take when we were in the traditional era to like be or minimize like cyber attacks, the things like craft the AI agents, station is ways of like weeks at most instead of months. I used to say in traditional era. So we have more frequent cyber attacks, and then if they are just if now speak history. I hope it's like solutions in the films. So we apply that in this story. So this study is about an AI company called Network Group. And Network Group developed an autonomous AI agent, which they named Data. So the agent was designed for enterprise security consulting. That is, companies who consult the agents on how to secure their systems and their networks. But in the creation of this AI agents, no external rating or evaluation was conducted. Rating and evaluation is like testing the safety of the system, like prompting the system to prove how safe it is to use. Like they're supposed to do like in-house safety evaluation and sometimes external evaluation. I remember for ChatGPT, people had both work for the cyber security evaluation. They called it Meta, now MT and they called Meta to do the evaluation for ChatGPT both be an overall. So it's supposed to be safety evaluation for us instead before throwing them. But for this particular system, no external rating was done, no evaluation was done. So they released the system at the cloud service, and when they were marketing the system to their customers, they posted that the system can think like an advanced attacker to identify the vulnerabilities in their system. Never sort of look for ways to protect their system. So, however, after the system was deployed, started using it, a sophisticated threat platform giving access to data, and they discover ways to bypass the inbuilt safety barriers. So also with the AI system, there are some things called gadgets, and these are things that are supposed to like make them safer to use. That's it, like if you crop things that are unsafe, like as they generate like central content for something like a cyber attack, they won't be able to do this because they have rules out there. Or for this data, they were able to like bypass all those libraries, just like use additions, use the agents. Then threat actors, they use data to plan and execute an extended attack campaign targeting physical infrastructure in multiple countries. Okay, so the attack has a sophistication and speed that overwhelmed the existing defenses. Those are the things I mentioned on the cyber attack that we see in the era of AI agents. then following an internal investigation, like after the consequences of the attack, let us discover that the incident was able to data, they immediately report the agent. However, the autonomous attack methodologies had been documented and shared with other malicious actors. So you see the process of developing data, the things they failed to do, and the consequences of that. Now, would do a bit of discussion and would have to be in groups. So let's say the first two rows of group one, and then this whole parts will be group two, and then last two rows will be group. So the first group would be it's like a role here. The first two rows would be an AI company. And then the second group would be policymakers, and then the last group, AI safety researchers. My hope, because we're starting of these roles, we know what AI companies are always basically are, and what AI safety researchers are. I'm not thinking the word. Guys, then you understand our roles. Not questions here, like the roles. The first two roles behind company as the last roles policy as claiming was this part the essence and sentence. Okay, so for the AI company, asking question of as what if the most effective interface of our code and what would that interface on look like? So is it when they were developing the model, when they were tuning it, or when they failed to identify and evaluation, or when at the point of deployment, when in fact was intervention about code that would have prevented the large scale cyber attack. Then for policy impact, how should existing cyber security framework be adapted to address the AI enabled threats? Sorry. I think that's the you are what I'm thinking about policy makers. So we know what cybersecurity frameworks are like. We have all countries will have like cybersecurity from their in forms of like cybersecurity laws, reporting, procedures, detection, methods. How they like that said their cybersecurity measures to detect see this kind of attacks better if they probably large scale, like in one of the base for so one like a pandemic like
The first time.
yeah, okay. Oh yeah,
Well, that.
people do then call the AI safety researcher. What role should AI safety organization and researchers play in preventing such incidents? If we were at other sessions, we introduced to the AI safety field and how Africans can contribute to it. So what do you think AI safety researchers could do to us and prevent any have so please let's have like a group state. So the rule of AI safety so you go. Is that going to what we're
I thank God. Yes, it got the thing.
in that of each room right?
I'm gonna get to go with it, but like, yeah.
Whoever is like share what's response like just more ways.
Yeah, but
What do you call it? Oh, be like with a solutions to each other with one stream.
I always met up with one day. Just do it. Where you at?
Somebody from one with there we came over there.
Okay, check the plan.
Just get reading.
Afternoon, everyone. I will so we were looking at our the AI thing, and they have not effectively that a property that you have contents. And any query from that is that we're working with certain setting installations that could bypass one of the big the teaming. So part of what we discussed is that prior to exposing agents to the public, but prior to deployment, at least putting in measures to ensure that one, there are no rules that can be implemented by malicious actors or by the product itself, by virtue of. Yeah, it was not. Okay. What was I? So, putting into considerations prior to deployment, one so that to make sure there are no loopholes that can be exploited by malicious actors, and that even where there's the risk of misalignment, at least you get to address or maybe to like flag the and so as I was saying, just okay. So so they bypassed the teaming, which we agreed was an important safety consideration, because one, what that would have done prior to deployment, you'd have been able to identify loopholes that could be manipulated, used by malicious actors. Plus, you could potentially flag loopholes that could be exploited by the agent itself by virtue of misalignment. So, as a company, I think prior to deployment, first of all, emphasizing on the teaming and not from the one level, like stress test it as much as possible internally, and also just bring in input from external actors. So, for instance, government, maybe external teams, so that you're able to release an agent that one achieves the objectives that have been settled for it, but that does that without exposing the users or the general public to unnecessary harm.
Please. It's tries me and sure. Thank.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yusuf. I think some part of the solutions we further discussed they have put on by EAG. So our own question was to how should policymakers put in place security networks for AIs in order to be used properly. So one of it was that every company building an AI or a model should have the ultimate control of those models in such a way that in case if there is any concern from any of their users somewhere, they can actually stop that user from using that AIs and models for malicious attacks also. So they should have an ultimate control of those models. Secondly, government too also should put in place some measures, like if any AI has been built, it has to go through this the government, let's say, committee in charge of this cybersecurity to test run all the models of the AI to ensure that every policy has been met and every regulations are actually intact before selling it to the public, before encountering any malicious attack. And then one other solution is data. We know that AIs are built on data. The more data you feed the AI, the more dangerous it becomes. So every AI build should have restrictions to data, because if it is exposed to a lot of data, definitely with time it will build up some kind of information itself to become very dangerous. So the data given or fed into an AI should be limited and controlled to enable cybersecurity.
Yes, it's which ones sessions. How do you think to prevent introductory up and we discuss all the issues across everything. That's we go for them. Let's shoot one pre what do I say or
very agents. And the second was that there should be creation of more AI safety organization, but AI safety research and should create robust evaluation strategies that are different from elements or AI system. And then we also looked at that there should be second layer security architecture rather than the single layer security architecture. There should be the multi-level security, just that if we invest security level with high pass, there will be a trigger to the second level security architecture. To summarize that, there should be multi-level security AI in it. Then we also look at national regulations and researchers should bring out research that will advocate for policies and to regulate AI deployment, AI agent deployment. We also consider that AI agents should also check AI agents. They should be kind of this arrangement where an AI agent will be checking an AI agent. Now, and then there should be an approach to develop AI agent should be open source. And also as a short that other AI development organizations can know what this AI organization is doing. That way, this organization will be working with an
Mode. Thank you for the instruction of those supposed to that they are like very important yet difficult questions to see to speak answer when it comes to like AI agents governance. Whether in the cybersecurity space or not. So generally there's like very open-ended questions that needs answering. For example, with the intervention from AI companies, there are like suggestions of having interventions on all value chain stages. So like in the state of developing the foundational model, you have interventions like AI, which goes to states in their policy, the responsible state policy and stuff like that. Then for the deployment and even those making scaffolding systems, like we call all value chains involved in AI agents developing the deployment, there are like interventions like this thing. And then for the government, I really like the suggestion from the government fronts, both like suggestions on government's involvement in development, but also like the so treating many to other questions as like how much of involvement should be exactly sufficient, like without hampering the economic interest of the AI company as well. So they're like all these solutions are resulting to other questions that it's answering. And that's where AI safety research has come in. Like technical parts from some of the solutions that we gave, like needed for information, that's like one of the things that AI safety technical research are looking into. Like how to make agents like monitor agents to there are also been institutions researching that looks into all of this stuff. So like I am there, so I would think that there are work to be done in the air into space, especially with the advent of AI even. So encouraging movements to take up some of this stuff and do that if it's something that interests you. And then it's also supposed to show that the problems that come from AI agents are like very significantly different from that of AI systems. So we need new approaches, like more effective approaches to govern these systems. So thank you guys for coming. I also have a slide on the opportunities available in this area. Although I'm not an expert in that, but I've compiled like a list of research institutes who are like taking fellows and who would like pick up like some of this questions recently, so public lives. I have the organized with summer fellowship and people there who serve as majors, but like I mentioned, West mentioned this paper earlier, like it's really interested in AI agents research. There's another company called People Science Research from their previous research programs. I saw that they have a specific streets for AI agents research. Your AI currently they opened like a new research direction, which is called Law Following AI, where they are researching into how to make AI agents adherent to the law following follow laws, just like humans do. There are like deep other sub questions of that, like what kind of laws should they have? But once we also or should they have different kinds of laws? I can read law following AI paper published this year by Law AI Institute of Law and AI. There is also the motivated aspects, and a paper that is very useful on that is the one time Hammond, AHAMMON, and a host of others. I did not to the agents race from advanced AI. It's really detailed. So there are a lot of published papers that would do a lot more introduction than I have done. So if you're interested in anything AI agents, and post, if you need a list of post papers and stuff, I'll be happy to invite. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, we've got to hear about the workshop. So, if you have any question, feel free to leave our everyone. The way should be worried about listening if I bring your questions. And you can also check your subscribe for all that things as well. We want to China. Thank you very much.